Hello students, welcome back to Tuition Masters, and today we are here with a letter to God grade 10 CBSE, and today we are going to discuss the question and answers or important question answers of this chapter. As you know, in our last letter to God chapter we had discussed about the summary as well as the author note about this chapter, and today we will discuss the question answers. So, first, what are we going to do? We are going to quickly summarize the key points of the story. Then we are going to do extract based MCQs, important 2 mark, 3 mark, and 5 marker questions. Also, remember to stay connected with us on Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. All these links are available on the channel. So, don't forget to join them to get regular notifications as well as other updates. So, let's start with the key points and the short summary of the whole chapter. So, the story is based on a farmer Lencho, and he had a field of ripe corn. He was a farmer. He needed a downpour, as in, he needed a rain to make his harvest good. But the rain turned into hailstones, which destroyed the whole crop of corn. So instead of rain, it was hailstones, correct? So it destroyed the whole farm. He had nothing to eat, so he decided to seek help from God. Decided that I'll write a letter to God. He wrote a letter to God demanding 100 pesos. Pesos is nothing but the currency during that time. It was a currency, so he demanded for 100 pesos. Now, when he bought this letter, gave it to the in the post office, so the post office employees made fun of him. But the postmaster was a good person and he decided to help him. He collected 70 pesos from his own effort, from his salary, from his relatives, acquaintances, from the employees. He collected 70 pesos. But Lencho was angry to receive 70 pesos in place of 100. He wanted 100 pesos, but instead he got 70, so he got furious. Now, he wrote another letter to God demanding the rest of money, means the remaining 30 pesos. He started to demand them. He also requested to send the money through another means because he believed that the post office employees were a bunch of crooks. Crooks mean dishonest, dishonest people. So he believed that Lencho believed that these employees only took his remaining 30 pesos. So this is how the story is. It's quite a small story, and we get to know about how strong was his faith in God. So yes, this is all about the story. Now let's move towards the one marker MCQ questions of extract test. So this is our extract. When he finished, he went to a window to buy a stamp which he licked and then affixed. Affixed means fixed or sticked, that is affixed, to the envelope with a blow of his fist. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to it. It said, God. Of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest since I need it very much. But don't send it to me through the mail because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Lencho. So this is an extract given to us. Now based on this we have two questions. First question. Lencho's letter included what? A details of his problems, description of the post, belief of being looted, or list of further demands. So it was nothing but list of further demands. Why further demands? Because first he wrote the letter for 100 pesos. Correct. But then what he got? He only got 70 pesos. So what did he wrote? He wrote another second letter demanding the remaining thing, the remaining 30 pesos. Correct. The second letter. Okay. So this is how it was. Now this is one important thing. It's not exactly from the paragraph, but what is it? Pick the most suitable quote for this extract. Now we have four quotes by people. We have to find out which one is suitable for this extract given to us. Okay, first one. It is easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. Real knowledge is known to the extent of one's ignorance. You see a person's true colors when you are no longer beneficial to their life. Or true generosity means accepting in gratitude. So, What is our answer here? Our real answer is true generosity means accepting then gratitude. So this is our correct answer. Now let's move towards two marker questions. People get support from family and friends during bad times. How does Lencho's family behave after the harvest is done? This is a very important question. Mostly we think that it will directly only Lencho's things will come, but yes, this is important. Why? Because we have to know that what did his family do when the harvest was bad. So there is no denying the fact that we get support from family and friends during bad time. Whenever there is some problem, we usually get help from our family and friends. Similarly, Lencho also got support and moral courage from his family. After his entire crop was ruined in the hailstorm, his family member solaced him and asked him to not close. Solaced him means assured. They assured him and asked him not to lose hope. They said that it's fine. Don't worry. In this world, no one goes hungry. That's what the people say. So don't worry. So we will find out a solution. They reminded him that in God's world, no one died of hunger. Lencho's entire family had faith in God's help. So his family said him these things that so that he doesn't get disheartened. Next question. Did Lencho try to find out who had sent the money to him? Why or why not? So we have to find out that the 70 pesos which he received. Did he find out it who had sent? Was it really God himself or someone else? So what was it? So as per the story, we get to know that no, Lencho did not find out who had sent the money to him. He just got the 70 pesos and he got angry with it. This is because he never suspected that it could be anybody else other than God who would send him the money. So he had what? He had a very strong faith on God. He had a very strong faith on God. So that's why he didn't try to, get to know that was this money really by God or it was by someone else. So he had a very strong faith. So his faith in God was so strong that he actually believed that God himself had sent him the money. So these are some important 2 mark questions. Now let's move towards 3 markers. How did the rain change? What happened to Lencho's field? So basically, in the starting, there was actually rain. Correct? It was actually rainfall. But then after rain, suddenly hails came. Suddenly hailstorm started. Correct? Hailstorm started. So what happened to his field? It's very easy. So the rain was pouring down. It was good rain. Everyone thought that it would be a good harvest now. Everyone thought that it would be good harvest. But what happened? Suddenly a strong wind began to blow and very large hailstones began to fall along with the rain. So on the field, hailstones began to fall. The hail rained on the valley for an hour, because of which the Lencho's fields were disturbed. What were the fields? Corn fields. His corn fields were destroyed by the hail. There was not a single leaf left on the trees, and flowers were gone from the plants. Everything was totally destroyed. It was a total destruction. And the corn was completely destroyed. They had no food left to eat. They had no food left. So that's why he wrote a letter ahead. Then correct. Now next question we have. This is a important question. That's why I'm marking it. So it's very important. It may come in exam as a value based question. Correct. It may be a value based competency based question. The field was white, as if covered with salt. This was the thing which was there in the story. Correct. This is how the field is described after the hailstorm. The pelting hailstones could have been easily seen as sugar cubes. Do you think comparing it with sugar would have been more appropriate? Why or why not? See, now this is a very important thing. We have two main things here. We have salt on one hand and other hand sugar. So basically, hailstones more like look like sugar cubes. So why did he say the field was white as covered with salt? Why wasn't it covered with sugar? Let's understand that. So this is based on the taste of both of them. So, hailstorm can be compared to small balls of anything that is white in color. Maybe it can be like a snow or hard balls of snow or even salt or even sugar. Any balls. But here the comparison to salt is much better than sugar cubes. Why is it giving so much importance? Salt, sugar, both of them are white. Why are we giving more importance to salt over here? Now, sugar. What is the taste of sugar? Now, sugar taste is sweet. Correct? It is sweet, our happiness. But if we have more salt, if there is more salt in any food, what will happen? It will give a bad taste. So what do we understand from here? That when we are talking about sweet, we talk about positive things or happiness. Correct, happiness. But when we use salt in a story or in a poem, that time as a poetic, we use negative sense and sadness. So this is what happens when sugar stands for sweetness or happiness in a poem or a story, but excess salt signifies a spoiled taste, means a bad thing. So the hails from spoiled lentils feels totally. So was it a good thing or bad thing? It was bad, right? It was bad. So hence we are using that it was covered with salt. Very important question. Let's move towards the 5 mark questions now. Writing a letter to God for help really shows not only the unshaken faith in God of the writer Lencho, but also shows his utter simplicity and innocence. Comment. Now see, literally, in real practical world, if we see, if someone has some, economical crisis of in their home, so would they? Do you think anyone would go write a letter to God? Obviously, no one will do, right? Because they know that no, we won't get a money or some reply directly from God. So what do we see here? That he has 100, more than 100% faith on God, but he is even very simple and innocent. Why? Because he didn't think that no, I'm doing some foolishness, who will give me a reply. But that is what his innocence is shown here, so we have to write upon that. So writing a letter to God and addressing it to God specifically shows the writer's unshaken faith in God. Means he has a very strong faith in God. Even though many people would have laughed at him if he would say that I'm writing a letter to God, God give me money, but still he had a very strong faith. He was simple man, not distrusting that such a letter could reach God. So he had total trust. He had total trust that this letter only God will accept it and give me a reply on it. His innocence and firm belief in God's mercy even deeply impressed and influenced the postmaster who decided to answer his letter. So his innocence and firm means strong belief in God's mercy even deeply impressed the postmaster, and he even gave try, like decided to answer his letter, but he didn't knew that it was by postmaster. He believed it was by God himself. Because why did he? Postmaster didn't want to shake the writer's faith in God, so hence the postmaster gave a reply to the letter. Now what did he do? He is nothing but postmaster over here. So the postmaster collected and sent 70 pesos as help, signing the letter with one word, God. So on the letter, on that whole letter, he gave 70 pesos. Okay, and he just wrote on that God, and he gave the money. That's it. He didn't write anything else. Lencho had so much faith in God and his mercy that it didn't show any surprise when he received the money sent to him. Like, see, if we get something, when do we not get surprised? When we know that obviously it's going to happen. Okay, but think about, you send you give a letter to God and you get it. Obviously, you'll be surprised. Oh my God, what is this? Because you know that it's not possible to get a reply. But if you still get it, it will be surprising. But Lencho was not surprised because he believed that God will reply him. God will reply him. So hence he was like, okay, fine, I got a reply. I knew that I will get a reply. So he was not surprised. Alright. But he wrote another letter requesting him to send the rest of money because only 70 pesos were arranged. So only 70 pesos were there, so remaining 30 was pending. So immediately, but not through the postal mail, as the post office employees a bunch of crooks, means they were not loyal. They were not loyal and they took my remaining money. Now, this is our last question of today. We have two extracts, okay, and we have to comment on the difference in the nature of faith. Okay, so faith, this is one and this is two. We have to write about the what is the difference in faith in both the characters of the extract. So, first one, what faith? I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter, starting up a correspondence with God. Who said this? This was said by the postmaster. Correct. Postmaster said that. Next. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and live until the crop comes. Because the hailstorm destroyed my crop, field, and this and that. He wrote it, correct. Who said this? This was said by Lencho. So these are the two things we have. Now, what is the differences? On one hand, we have our postmaster who was a quite who was quite elated means here he was pleased, you can say, or happy, okay, to witness such an unquestionable faith of a person in God. And on another hand, we have Lencho who had that faith. So postmaster, he was so happy that he saw such a strong faith on God, and another Lencho who had that faith, correct. So the postmaster was a person of deep faith in humanity. He was quite a good person, moral person, right? He appreciated that Lencho had such a strong faith in God that he had written a letter addressed to God in order to ask help from him. Correct, from God. The postmaster wished to emulate the same faith in him. Emulate means show. Show or display the same faith. Correct. You know what, if imagine the ending of the story being like the postmaster didn't give a reply. If he would have been given the reply, so what would happen? Lencho would be very disappointed and he would lose his faith. So the postmaster decided to help Lencho and to keep his belief in God intact. Intact means same as it is. Correct. So he didn't want Lencho's faith to be shaken. It shouldn't be shaken. So he gave a reply with what? With 70 pesos. Now, Lencho, on the other hand, he had a deep faith in God but no faith in humanity. Why are we having this irony here? He had faith in God but not in humanity. Why? Because he thought that the employees of the company were what? They were a bunch of crooks. So he didn't believe that like humans, they themselves had kept the money and helped him. He thought that they were dishonest, they were the crooks, but God did the right thing. So he had very strong faith on God but no faith in humanity. When in despair means depressed, or you can say sad, of the destruction caused to his crops by the hailstorm, his only ray of hope as God. So who was it? Oh, he had one hope that only one person can help me. It is God. So he asked God to send him money. How much money was it? It was 100 pesos. This money, how much he asked, how much he got. It's very important. But his faith in God was so blind that due to it he blamed the post office employees themselves who helped him in God's messengers, right? So what the employees only arranged 70 pesos, but what did he do? Lencho thought that they were a bunch of crooks. They only took the remaining money. God sent me the full money, but they took it. Such strong faith he had on God, but zero faith in humanity. So, this is all about the question and answer session for Letter to God. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down which video do you want next. We'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.